Okay, so get this. What if Earth had rings? Like Saturn, you know?
Woo! That's a big one.
It is, right? And we've got some seriously cool material to dig into today that goes deep on what that would be like. Like, for real, for our planet and everything.
Yeah, like how would things even work?
Exactly. Like, first off, what would those rings even look like? I mean, can you imagine?
Oh yeah, it'd be wild. Like picture this massive band across the sky, right? Made of like ice and dust and rocks all swirling around.
Okay, I'm trying to picture, but my brain is kind of melting.
No, but like the sun would hit it, right? So you'd see these crazy bright arcs during the day, and then at night, this soft glow.
Whoa, wait, so would you see them all the time? Like, no matter where you were?
Pretty much, yeah. Like think of constellations are always up there. But with the rings, get this, they'd change with the seasons.
What? Real?
Yeah, because like Earth is tilted, right? So the sun hits the rings differently throughout the year. So sometimes brighter, sometimes dimmer.
Wow, that's crazy. So, like, a permanent light show that's always changing?
Pretty much.
That's insane. But, okay, this source we're looking at, it goes beyond just the looks, right? It talks about, like, the impact on everything, starting with climate. Like, how would rings even affect the weather?
Okay, yeah. So this is where things get really freaky. Imagine like these massive shadows from the rings, right?
Yeah.
Covering huge chunks of the planet.
Hold up, shadows from the
Oh,
rings.
yeah. So those areas would be in like perpetual twilight and way colder than usual, obviously.
Oh, wow, I didn't even think about that. So, like, some places would always be dark and freezing.
Yeah, pretty much. And think about what that would do to like animals and plants.
Oh, right, like, would they even survive?
Some would adapt for sure. Like nocturnal animals would be thriving, right?
Right.
But plants that need tons of sun, forget about it.
It's like the whole planet would be flipped upside down. Like, would we even be able to grow food?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine trying to farm in constant twilight. We'd have to, like, totally rethink agriculture. Maybe even genetically modify crops to need less light.
And, like, energy, right? We'd need so much more power if we're not getting enough sunlight.
Exactly. And don't even get me started on, like, the psychological effects of living in near darkness all the time. Who knows how humans would handle that?
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. Okay,
Good.
so we've got this crazy shadowy Earth with messed up weather. What about space? Like telescopes and all that?
Oh man, it'd be a mixed bag for astronomers. Like, yeah, we'd have these rings right there to study, which would be awesome, but all that dust and stuff would like scatter light, you know?
So it'd be hard to see other stuff out in space.
Exactly. Like, imagine trying to see a distant galaxy through a haze. It
Yeah.
just wouldn't be the same.
Oh, right. So we'd be learning about the rings, but missing out on other discoveries.
Pretty much. And even launching rockets and stuff would be a whole new challenge.
Oh, right, because of the rings.
Yeah, like imagine trying to fly through a field of space debris. That's essentially what we'd be dealing with.
Oh, yeah, that does not sound safe.
Not at all. We'd need like way better shielding and navigation to avoid collisions. And even building a space station would be risky because of all the micrometeoroids from the rings constantly hitting it.
It's wild how rings would change, like literally everything about space travel. But okay, back to Earth for a sec. Our source talks about this cultural impact too, like art and stuff. How would rings affect that?
Oh, that's a fun one to think about. Imagine the inspiration for artists, right? The rings would be this huge, constant presence in the sky. Like, we'd probably have entire art movements based on them.
Yeah, totally. Like paintings, music, everything. It'd be all about the rings.
Totally. And like think about philosophy too. People would be asking big questions about like our place in the universe. Like are rings common on other planets? Do they mean something bigger?
Yeah, like would religions change? Would people see the rings as like a sign from something divine?
Right. It'd be a whole new way of looking at the universe and our place in it.
I love that. Like it wouldn't just be a cool sight. It would make everyone rethink everything. It would be this global unifying thing.
Exactly. And speaking of global, think about the tourism too.
Oh, right. Like ring tourism.
Yeah, like people traveling to the best spots for viewing the rings. We'd probably have special observatories, maybe even space hotels.
Yeah, there'd be a whole industry. But I guess like too much tourism could be bad too, right?
Oh, for sure. Like think about the environment and stuff.
Right. There's always a downside. Okay, so we've covered like the looks, the climate, space travel, culture. But is this even possible? Could Earth actually get rings?
Well, the main theory is that rings form when, like, a moon or a big asteroid gets too close to a planet.
Oh, okay. And the planet's gravity just rips it apart.
Yeah, and then all the pieces spread out into a ring.
So like if something big enough got trapped by Earth's gravity, boom, rings.
Theoretically, yeah.
Hmm.
But the thing is, Earth's gravity is stronger than Saturn's, right? So the rings wouldn't last as long.
Oh, so they might disappear after a while.
Yeah, some pieces would fall back to Earth, making these crazy meteor showers, and others would just float off into space.
So it might be temporary, but man, what a show it would be while it lasted.
No
This
kidding.
whole deep dive has been mind-blowing. Like, we've gone from just picturing the rings to, like, imagining all the crazy ways they'd change everything.
It's wild.
Totally wild.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap things up?
I guess the big question is, if you could choose, would you want Earth to have rings? Like, what parts of this whole thing excite you and what parts kind of freak you out? It's a really cool thing to think about.
It really is. It makes you see our planet and the whole universe in a whole new way.
Thanks for diving in with us today, everyone. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.